Hey, what's up there, YouTube? This is No Budget Duelist bringing you my my new Morphtronic deck that I recently got from a friend. I'm fiddling around with it, and I've got it working pretty well right now. I just changed a couple cards, and I haven't really play tested this exact build, although I have a couple of really interesting tech cards that nobody really sees anymore in here that are actually really great in the Morphtronic deck. So, without further ado, let's go into the deck itself. Right now I have two Self-On. I want three. It's your main searcher of the deck. Two Gadget Driver. This is great for during your opponent's turn when you need to, change your monsters all the defense position or something like that, so that you can get their defense abilities. Like with Morphtronic Borden, your monster destroyed by battle, and Magin. It draws in all attacks, so those combined create a pseudo attack lock, or maybe even you have two Magnins on the field that would create an attack lock. So there are tons of combos you can do with Gadget Driver. It's virtually endless. Triple Cyber Valley. This is one of the cards that I just added in, so I don't necessarily know how it's going to work with just one or two or even all three, or even if I just shouldn't put it in there at all. But I'm going to definitely test that out over the next week, and maybe I'll repost another fix or altered version of this deck, depending on how they work. One more from it, Clockin. Maybe I want to run two, because its defensibility is amazing. Every turn you can put one morph counter on it, and if you move it to attack mode, it gains 500 attack for every morph counter on it, which is nice in case you just got out of Borden and the clock counters it gained on it would be enough to give you allow you to attack your opponent for game with it and a couple other monsters. But its defensibility is that you can tribute it, and then for every clock counter that was on it when it's tributed, you do 1,000 damage to your opponent. That hurts. Like, you might be thinking, oh man, but it would take a long time to do a bunch of damage. Well, you don't even have to really keep it on the field for that long. Because this deck, you'll be protecting your monsters a lot. So, it's really easy to keep it out for 2 turns. If you can stretch it out for 3, that's great, because then you just did 3,000 damage. And if you can do that twice, then all you have to do is attack directly, 2 times with a boomboxing, which that's not hard to do at all. 3 Borden is one of your main monsters of the deck. Not quite as necessary as Self-On, but its attack position effect is that all your Morphtronics on the field can attack directly, and its defense position effect is that your other Morphtronic monsters can't be destroyed by battle. Well, other Morphtronic monsters on the field can't be destroyed by battle. So if you have 2 Borden on the field, they protect each other. So that's always nice. Double Magnet. These are mainly just for attack locks, because Magnet, when it's in defense mode, pulls attacks. Its attack mode effect isn't really good. It just, whenever it attacks, it has to attack the opponent's monsters with the monster with the highest attack. So, yeah, it's not really great, but, well, in attack mode, but in defense mode, it creates amazing lockdowns, which I played against a hero deck, and what was it? It was a Dragoonity deck. It wasn't a full power Dragoonity deck, but like he didn't have synchros or anything. But I created a few lockdowns and was able to create 4 or 5 in the game that just allowed me to win. 2 Scopin. I don't think I'm ever going to add a 3rd Scopin, just because 1, you don't need Power Tool Dragon in this deck. It's all a lockdown deck, although you could use one. 2, I mean, it's a good tuner, and you can use it to Synchro Song for stuff, but you don't really need Synchro in this deck anyway. Like, maybe you might need a Synchro at some point, but that's what 2 Scopin are for, not 3, because you're not going to be able to use its for attack position effect all the time, and its defense position effect is only okay. You don't want to keep it on the 5th turn. 1 Slingin. I don't know if I'm going to add a 3rd Slingin or not, and a 2nd Slingin or not. I don't think that anybody would ever go up to 3, just because eventually 3 Slingin, like let's say you summon 2 Slingin as a thing in your deck, and then you go Self-On, and then you get a 3rd Slingin. Well, now you've basically filled up your field with a bunch of you know, okay monsters. That really the only thing they can do is distribute other monsters, destroy cards. So yeah, basically their effects become useless because you can't use Slingin to tribute Slingin, which kind of sucks. 2 Radion. This is another card that I'm gonna get 3 of. Uh, just because Radion is amazing because it just buffs all of your Morphtronics by 800 attack and attack. When he's in attack mode, he buffs all Morphtronics by 800 attack, and when he's in defense mode, he buffs all Morphtronics by 1000 defense. So he's just amazing. You know, he helps with your really big plays. 2 Boomboxen. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a 3rd Boomboxen. I guess that if I ever do order a bunch of cards off like Troll and Toad or something, I'm gonna get a 3rd Boomboxen just to see how it'll work. So he's a good card. In attack, he attacks twice. In defense, he can negate an attack. So I might go for 3. I don't know. I just have to try it out. 1 Giant Rat and 1 Shining Angel. These are 2 searchers. All the monsters are light and earth. So, you know, if anything, I don't know what I'd do Giant Rat for, but I know Shining Angel, I would go for Radion, just because I can go from a 14 attack monster to an 18 attack monster. So, you know, it's nice. And you get a little bit more than what your opponent was bargaining for. Double Map, I think I might go up to 3, but at the same time, I think I might not. Just because Map is only okay, and it's not necessary by any means, but if you can keep it on the field for, you know, 2 or 3 turns, and it'll get like 5 or 6 counters on it, that's a huge boost to all your Morphtronics, because I run so many cards in this deck that change positions. Like it's not even funny how many position changing cards I run in here, because I basically just destroy stuff all the time. So yeah, it'll get a good amount of counters on it really quickly, and then it'll just buff all my monsters, and then like even dragons can't get over. 2 Cord. Every time the equipped Morphtronic monsters battle position is changed, destroy 1 or spell or trap on the field. It is mandatory, so it can kill itself. And if the only spell and traps on the field are Map and Cord, I'd rather destroy Cord because Map gives me a buff. So yeah, but it's really good in case your opponent's got a bunch of back row. And 2 C and D. I might go for a 3rd one. There are a lot of cards that I might go for in this deck, just because C and D helps with attack lockdowns. Because on your turn, the equipped monster gains 1000 attack, and whatever monster attacks after it's destroyed, its effects are negated. So I don't know if it beats Sangan or not. I have to look up the rulings on that. But if it does beat Sangan, that's really nice. And then on your opponent's turn, the monster it's equipped to pulls in all your opponent's attacks, and any monster that battles the equipped monster is destroyed afterwards. So that's always nice. 1 Mage Power, because it's Mage Power. Morphtronic Repair Unit, summon more Morphtronics from your graveyard. Their battle positions can't be changed, but you know, just summon Magnet out in defense mode. Then you've got a nice little attack puller, and maybe you even just made your little attack block thing. Then Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Heavy Staples, and then 1 for 1 for getting Selfon out, and Terraforming for getting Map. I only run 1 Terraforming. I like decks that run, instead of 3 field spells, 2 field spells and Terraforming, unless you're running like a Gear Town deck, because then 3 Gear Town would be just amazing, because then you just destroy your Gear Town all the time and keep getting out Gadgetron Dragons. But in a deck like this, or in Chaos Dragons, or something where a field spell isn't necessary, but it does add a lot of power to the deck, 2 with a field spell and a Terraforming is good, because it also adds that 1 extra card that you're throwing out of your deck if you draw the Terraforming rather than the actual field spell. So, you know, that's always nice. 1 Morphtronic Force Field, negate any spell or trap that would destroy a Morphtronic monster on your side of the field. So that means it doesn't have to target. So that's always nice. And then you add a Morphtronic card from your deck to your hand. So I would choose or Bind, or Map, or maybe even scramble this guy. As long as you have a Morphtronic monster on your side of the field, it acts like gravity bind for your opponent, but at the same time, their monsters also can't change their battle position. So if somehow you got a big monster there's defense mode, they can't do anything about that. So one Morphtronic scramble, and your opponent declares a direct attack. You activate this, negate it, special summon one Morphtronic card from your hand. Ideally, you would summon Boomboxin, or if you decide to run it, Stapling. 2 Curse of Anubis. This card I just added in today as well. I'm going to be playtesting that. But conceptually, this card is amazing. So, what it does, you activate it. When it resolves, all effect monsters on the field will go to defense position. Their defense is changed to 0, and their battle positions can't be changed for the rest of the turn. So you might be thinking, wow, all my monsters just went to 0 defense. That means they can be destroyed. But this is Morphtronics. If you're running, if you have a board and a magnet on the field, and you just try to do like a little bit of damage last turn, and then you set one of these, your opponent might be expecting Mirror Force or something like that that might activate in response to. But you activate a Curse of Anubis, their monsters all go to defense position. Your monsters go to defense position. Even if they try to make another play out of it, they can't move your monsters' positions at all if they're even running a control deck like that. So that's always an added bonus. And you also get your attack lock. So, tons of combos to be run off that. Starlight Road, and Ceasefire, because set a monster, and I already have like a face-up board and opponent's turn, they set a card, activate Ceasefire. Oh yay, I just stopped a Raikou. And, you get an attack lock. So, that was my Morphtronic deck, everybody. Yeah, be sure to like, rate, subscribe, eat some potato chips, pencil, and have a nice day.